And our next speaker that is joining us, CHANI JURAVEL, and she's going to be speaking about letting go, the ultimate sum of Rachel. CHANI has been teaching and counseling in various capacities for over 3 decades. She's in private practice, seeing individuals and couples both in her Rockland County, New York office, as well as virtually. And she lectures and gives workshops worldwide, combining Torah True Hashkafa and insights with psychologically relevant topics and themes. And you're able to hear some of her work on Torah Anytime, Women's Site, and on aish.com. Her book, which I definitely want to read, Sephirah in Our Lives, is available through Amazon and Feldheim, and it offers a wonderful relationship model. And her WhatsApp group joins thousands of women in a meaningful learning community. So without further ado, I give you CHANI JURAVEL. Thank you for being here.
Pleasure. Your energy is contagious. Wow, you're great. So ladies, today's a really powerful day for all of us. You know, the yard site of Rachel Imeinu, she's the woman, she's the mother that hears us most, that could help us through our pain, that could address our needs, and all because she really did let go. She let go of the focus on what somebody else had, even though it should have been hers. She rose beyond the most difficult human emotion of jealousy, of focusing on what someone had that often feels like it's at our expense, in the most incredible way, giving Yaakov to Leah when after all those years, they were focused so much on wanting each other. But she was still a human, and that's what makes her even greater. And sometimes we let go in one way, and we still have another layer where we have to let go and learn and grow just in that next way. And we find that happening with Rachel in a really difficult, painful time in her life, where she did everything right. She gave her husband to Leah. She gave Leah her simanim, the signs that assured that Leah would not be ashamed on that marriage day. She even, and this is so bizarre and so wild, let go to the point that we're told that she was under their marriage bed, speaking for Leah so that Yaakov would hear her voice and not bring Leah to degradation. We can't even wrap our minds around that. But then we find that when they are both married to Yaakov, Leah has it easier. And Leah's having those children, Vatikane Rachel ba'achosa. And she was envious of her sister. Now, of course, she was envious at her level. I'm not saying that she wasn't greater. We should achieve that level of what she was envious of wanting to build more of the Jewish people. But still at her level, there was jealousy. And she goes to her husband Yaakov and she says, Hava libanim, get me a child. If not, I'll die. Rashi says she was hysterical. And Yaakov answers her in a very cryptic, seemingly harsh way. He says, look, I could hear your pain. I could sympathize, but I can't really empathize. I have children. Hatachat Elokim Anochi, he says. Am I literally under God? Am I in God's place? Asher mana minech pribaten. I didn't prevent you from having a child. What did he mean? And we're told that she took his words. And apparently there must have been some growth as a result, because then we find her evolving and mothering a child. So this is not about an answer to why people don't have children. It has nothing to do with that. Everyone's prescription is different. But it's an answer to how we get beyond our pain. What is our deepest pain in life? What's the hole that makes us need to fill it in some way, that makes us look for any which way to fill that magic wish of feeling better again? That hole is usually disconnection. And Yaakov was saying to Rachel, the Kli Yakar says so beautifully, he says, Rachel, I hear you, but I want you to know what your power is. Hatachat Elokim Anochi, am I under God? Who does God love and hear most? He hears most the people with broken hearts. You more than anyone, you being who you are, you have a direct line and he never leaves. He's always there waiting and wanting you. But if you don't feel that connection, if you feel this out of sorts and this empty, There must be a divider. I'm sorry? Be okay? There must be a divider between you and him that's not allowing for you to penetrate and get to that point of feeling him in your life and knowing that you're held and loved and embraced wherever and whenever you're there. So Rachel takes those words to heart. Miyad nitna el liba, says the Kliyakar. She wanted to take any words when it came to growing. And she said, yeah, I know what that is. I was busy focusing on what my sister had, on what somebody else had. And that took me out of my zone that's most comforting, my zone that's my world between me and God. And immediately when she started focusing on that, she felt that shleimut, she felt that completion. She did have the child, but the child was not the success. The fact that she reconnected to her own self and space was her success. Now, why do I say that today? Because as much as we could gain from the merit of our greats, the clincher is that to gain the most from their impact in our lives, we want to relate to what they stood for. And I was thinking about it, ladies, now more than ever. What are all of us finding so difficult today in terms of our headspace? That the world is so much about everybody else's world. It says in Pirkei Avot, Hakina, the three things that just take me out of the orbit of my world. Kina, jealousy. Tava, the desire for what I don't have. Kavod, the obsession for the honor and the following that I want. Motziin et ha'adam min ha'olam. They take a person out of their world because your world is so precious. Your world offers you a tikkun, the ability to come to a place of healing and wholeness that no one else's world can. And we spend so much of our time and our hours on focusing on what other people, or the illusion of what other people have, and the stuff of their lives that becomes the driving force of what I think I need to feel as happy as they look. The kavod, the amount of honor that I feel I need by how many people are looking at me and my things and the things that I hope they'll appreciate, because then maybe I'll appreciate myself. Motziin et ha'adam min olam. Says Yaakov, don't go there. You have a line with God, and if you create that division by focusing on other worlds, you'll miss out on the beauty of the life that you could so much be living. So maybe that's something to take into our world. The words of Tehillim are about letting go. I don't have to put on a facade. I could be real and drill down to the real emotions of the parts of my life that I'm feeling. David HaMelech has a roller coaster of emotions that make up Tehillim. He talks about his anger. He talks about his hurt. He talks about his crying. He talks about feeling left and abandoned by God. He wonders when the end will come. And letting all of that go and being real and allowing God into those real emotions is singing the song of our lives. It's knowing that every part of my ride, every bump in my life is meant for me to connect to God through. I am never too much for him. I am never too much for him. And I could let him hold me. And knowing that I have that connection, that'll give me the stamina and the serenity and the strength to ride to the next part of my ride, to ride the ups and the downs. I have a lot of wonderful clients that would like so much for their lives to be in a place of homeostasis. And I always ask them one question. Did you ever watch medical shows when you were a kid on TV? Sure. So what does this mean? This means you're done. And this means that you're still here. So we have ups and we have downs, but through each of them, Tachat Elokim Anochi, I am literally under God and I'm being held by him. I'm the daughter of Mama Rachel that penetrated that block of focusing elsewhere and focused back in here and in here. And ladies, let's take that legacy, bring it into our lives, bring it into our loved ones, bring it into our feeling of connection with God and Rachel and our Tehillim, And let's hope that we bring her legacy to a place that brings God back to the world that he can't wait to have more room in. Be well.
Wow. Thank you so much, Chani, for sharing this beautiful, beautiful message. We all have a legacy. Hashem packed our suitcase before our neshama came into this world with the good and the not so good. He packed it for us. Let's look inside that suitcase to see how we can utilize those things. And it's not based on the fake numbers, like you said, Chani, but we all have a value, each and every one of us. Let's continue to build that connection with Hashem. I so much appreciate you being on.